Hello guys, Gene here with G Squared Tactical. Man, what a blast at the range today with the CZ P-10F. And I'll say it again, like I've said it so many times, because it never fails. 9 or 8 out of 10 times that I mention CZ to someone, they still don't know what I'm talking about. And when I show it to them, unless I'm showing them a shadow or a fancy CZ75 model or something, they kind of turn their nose up at it a lot of times because of the way it looks. And I tell people, you just have to shoot a CZ in order to appreciate it. I mean, phenomenal firearms, phenomenal value. I mean, yes, can you spend, several $1,000s on some of their higher end pistols? Absolutely you can, but you don't have to, and you still get incredible value. I'm gonna take the light off here because very seldom do I go to the range in one trip and put a gun immediately after cleaning it into my rotation. Of course, I don't carry a gun this size concealed or anything like that, but when I say rotation, I mean truck gun, nightstand, on the end table while watching a movie or something. Definitely something that's out and about in the house or in the truck when I go somewhere. Immediately that happened, and from watching the video at the range there, I'm sure you can understand why. My wife even shot good with it. Typically, if she comes home, if she mentions a gun several days after we were at the range, then it must be impressive, because admittedly she'll tell you herself that she's not a great shot, but she was lights out with this thing. And she talked about putting it on her bedside, but she typically is lights out with CZ. She shot well with my 97B and 45K. Embarrassed me, actually. Shot way better than I did. But most people that I hand a CZ to, they become hooked and they shoot super accurate. Makes them look like a professional shooter that they are not. Anyway, we'll get right into it. I will talk about some of the heights and weights and things like that. I typically don't get into that. It just takes up time, stuff that you can see easily for yourself real quick online, but I will go through that right quick. The MSRP on this without the optic is about $449. It can be had for somewhere around $399. With the optic, I believe the MSRP is like $749. Don't take me up on that. The prices is all over the place online on this. I have seen it as low as $599 with the optic. I did get this from a local FFL, as I don't buy online. I support my local brick and mortar, and he gave it to me out the door for like $643. So I thought I would have paid more for it than that's what I'm trying to say. It's that good, and I believe it has that kind of value. It did come with 3 19-round metal magazines, fiber reinforced polymer, striker fired, of course. It does have fixed sights. The front sight is a orange tritium field night sight, serrated, blacked out on the rear, and you do get a perfect, we're gonna call it it's not too far up into the glass. It's not overwhelming like some optics are that sit really low on a gun. Your rear sight comes so far up into your glass, it's just distorts everything. That's not the case here. It is a full 100% co-witness, but it looks like a lower 1/3. It's kind of hard to explain. The barrel length on this is 4.5. The width super thin at 1.26. And the weight comes in unloaded without the optic, of course, at 28.2 ounces. So it feels very well balanced and light in the hand. The overall length on this is 8 inches overall. Firing pin, block safety, and a center blade trigger safety. So we'll get into some of what it came with. This optic did come already mounted on here. Holosun does awesome things. I used to be dead set against them. All I would buy is Vortex, Trijicon, Leopold, some American manufacturers. Most of the optics I had from China or that were China made were absolute garbage. Not the case ever with Holosun. Some of the best optics that I have. This is the SCS CZ P-10 GR green dot. It does have an internal battery that is charged by the solar panel on here, so if it's picking up ambient light, it is using that to give you your light. It is shake awake, of course, and it's charging an internal battery on this optic. You couldn't hardly get that out. So if you're in the dark, no worries. It does have an internal battery that has been charged by this solar panel. And I've had a few others of these and I've never had an issue with the light not being on. It is a relatively small window, but man, it's completely flush on this slide from front to back and side to side. Just looks exactly like it's made into it. Kudos to Holosun. They do great things with optics. They make some for Smith and I believe H&K. They just make them for everything. P320. You do have your front serrations, your rear serrations. There's a lot of them. They're very deep, very easy to manipulate the slide. This does have a 16-pound spring, so it's not the lightest spring on earth, but it's still relatively easy to manipulate this slide with those nice deep serrations on the front there. And as I mentioned, it does have a 16-pound spring. You can get 14.5, maybe even a 13-pound spring if you wanted to shoot this more in a competition style. Not so much for me. I may get one for range fun, but I want it to be reliable. And if the 16-pound spring is what makes it reliable, then I certainly want to do that. I have ordered a flared mag well for this because although it is a very, very long grip here, still I have these fat sausage fingers here, and as you can see, if I have a flared mag well on here, it just really pushes your grip high and tight, keeps your grip up for me anyway, and I really like a flared mag well. I like the look, I like the functionality, and the ability to load your magazine with ease or more ease. This is not a really much of a beveled or flared mag well at all. You do have these two pieces on the side to rip the mag out should it stick. I guess once I get my flared mag well on there, I won't have that. Just like on the other P-10, P-10S, P-10C, P-10F, you have the more aggressive stippling on the front and on the back. With your back straps, you have 3 of them, small, medium, large. It came with a small. I left it on there. That's what it felt good to me, so I didn't really feel a need to change it. On the sides here, you do have the CZ logo on each side, and it is less aggressive on each side. It's not overly done. It's perfect in my opinion. My wife will let me know if the grip on a gun is overly aggressive. She complained nothing about it. Does not snag on your clothing or anything, and I feel like I got a great purchase on it. Nice, big, squared off trigger guard, nicely undercut, big, nice, deep beaver tail here, just like you're accustomed to on most all CZs. If you're shooting with gloves, absolutely no issue there. Is serrated on the front and has this little ledge. If you're one that puts your finger on the front of the trigger guard, there will not be a problem with that. Just, again, attention to detail, a lot of features on this gun. Takes down, much like most striker fired guns, pull back a little bit on the slide, pull your takedown pins downward like on a Glock, pull the trigger, slide it off the front, or pull the trigger and then do it, whichever way you prefer. Does have a 2-slot pick rail up here. I had my XH35 from Surefire mounted up here. Looks really good on there. And it does have nice memory pads like you're accustomed to seeing on the other P-10, like I said, S, C, F models. And just absolutely, again, I tried to explain all the time, and I don't think CZ gets enough traction, even online, even on YouTube. I guess because people just don't click on them. I don't know why. And honestly, I'll be honest, I was the same way when someone first mentioned CZ to me. The very first CZ I ever purchased was a P-07. It was a duty, like an overrun, a Mexican military or something, and I was able to get it pretty cheap. and I was in love ever since. Then when I bought the P-09, oh, it was game on. Then the CZ75 and Shadow, and on it went. And admittedly, when they come out with the P-10 series in the S, the C, and then the F, admittedly, aesthetically, I kind of stayed away from it. I did get the P-10S and put an optic on there, and I did carry it for a little while because, again, it was accurate, shot very well, super reliable. But this thing, I just cannot describe just how good it feels in the hand, just how well balanced it feels. But forget all of that. It does look a little bit goofy. It does have a goofy look to it, and I think, again, that's another reason why a lot of times people stay away from them. Don't know why, but that's the thing with some people. Aesthetics mean a lot, and hey, they mean a lot to me sometimes as well. But it does kind of have a boxy, goofy look on the lower here. The slide looks much like any other Striker Fire slide. It does have an ambi slide lock here. There is no safety, of course, and it does have a swappable mag release and nice checkering on the mag release here. Easily manipulated without adjusting your grip. I would not necessarily say that it's extended, but again, easy to manipulate without adjusting your grip at all. As far as the trigger is concerned, you do have the center blade safety, of course, that you must engage. It does have some take up. It does not have, well, admittedly, it does have a little bit of grip, but I will say that it has gotten exponentially better with shooting, and just like on most of the other P-10s, it'll go away and it'll be super smooth after you run several thousand rounds through it. But it does have a little bit of grit. It does have a decent amount of take up. When it hits the wall, it does have a little bit of a rolling break, if you will. It doesn't break right when it hits the wall. Nice reset, very audible, very tactile. You can certainly feel it pushing back on your finger, and you can also hear it. Very loud, very tactile, very nice reset. I'm not a trigger snob. As you can see from the range, I'm not a competition shooter. I wouldn't even consider myself an overall great accurate shooter, but I shot extremely well with this. The trigger did not even come into play for me. Again, I brought it home, cleaned it up, loaded up the mag with my Hornady Critical Defense, put a light on it, and it's in the rotation. Just that simple. The cover plate was in the bag. Did have the Holosun adjustment tool here and the cleaning cloth. There was no box, again, no battery because it has the internal battery. 3 19-round magazines. Come with the cleaning utensils here like you're accustomed to. Just a tremendous value. And if you steered clear from CZ for whatever the reason might be it because of the name, be it because of how it looks, don't let those things stand in the way. Get one of the lower priced ones like this one, like the P-07, like the P-09. I hear that they're kind of doing a change. Maybe those won't be available anymore exactly that way. Perfect opportunity to go out and pick you one up. They have dropped in price across the board, and it's not because of the lack of value and reliability. Go out, pick you one up. I promise you, you have Gene's word from G Squared Tactical that you will not regret it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm sure there's some stuff I left out, sure some stuff I said wrong. Heck, I might even have had some grammar wrong. Sure, you guys will let me know what a toothless redneck I am. If so, and that's fine, go ahead, we respond to everyone. This was made in the Czech Republic, and you do have a metal guide rod. You don't have no plastic junk like you do in the Walther P. Oh, did I say that? I'm sorry. Like you do in some other guns. It is a metal guide rod, hammer forged barrel. Just phenomenal value for the price that I paid for this. If you have any questions, anything I left out, I'd be happy to answer those questions. And it is pretty customizable as well. More features are coming more readily available for the CZ platform. So go out, pick you one up. I promise you won't regret it. And hey, go over, check out our website at gsquaredtactical.com. That's G Squared tactical.com. We have merchandise on there. We have hats, we have shirts, we have cup holders, car coasters, bottle openers, keychains. And if you want something, you know, hey, just say it. Hey, we would like to see this or that. We'll make sure we get that available too. But every little bit helps out to continue to do these blue collar reviews and to buy ammunition to do these reviews. And we appreciate you guys' support. And we hope you have a blessed day. And remember that God loves you.